Hey guys, good evening everybody. Welcome to another edition of the ActionTrader.com nightly wrap-up show. Hope everybody is doing okay. Decent pivots today, decent pivots. I want to talk about the more important about the macro view. Now again, for the last, several months, right? Last several months, everybody's trying to pick its bottom, right? Everybody's trying to pick a top. Where is the top going to come from? Why is it still moving up? How come the market hasn't come in? Because again, we've reviewed this, countless of times. Again, I'm not a bear. I'm just a realist. And again, we've said this, and this is the first time you hear me say this. The greatest market rallies of all time always had some sort of back testing and remounting. It's the idea of stocks just don't go straight up. And obviously on the way down, right before Trump got officially named as president-elect, the market doesn't go straight down. Eventually, there's periods of intervals where strength and weakness are obvious, but again, the market's never as good or never as bad as you think it is. So it was just an amazing run that the market's had over the last several months, obviously since the first week of November. And again, bears just, if there's any bears left, they're just constantly trying to find and figure out different ways how the bears are finally going to seize control. And the one thing that I always talk about in any market whatsoever, is talking about clues, digesting information, understanding what's in front of you. Again, there's a reality. There's two sorts of reality. There's a reality that we want to see, and there's a reality that is actually happening, and that is face value. And for months and months and months, the market just could not crack. There was always something there. The banks were always strong. They were leading the way. Nothing was going to get this market down because, again, prosperity, euphoria of a new administration was the leading indicator that strength was still obvious. However, the market does not like any type of uncertainty, and the market gets tired. Just the way there's buyer strikes, right, when the market can't go up, and then there's seller strikes when the market can't go down. What we're seeing right now is the first sign of technical damage. Now, again, if you look at the Dow today, not a big deal, right? What's the big deal then? What is the big deal? The Dow is down 30 points. The Nasdaq Composite was down, 15 handles, and the S&P was down a little bit less than 7. What's the big deal, right? What is the big deal? Okay, so this is where we start looking at clues. So we started looking at clues, and the best clue is, how does a stock respond? Okay, how does a stock respond when the market goes higher, and how does a stock respond when the market goes lower? The greatest indicator, and again, I don't care how many of these studies you use, the greatest indicator is if a stock can't go up on good news, something's wrong. If a stock stopped going down on bad news, that means a reversal is imminent. And what we're seeing right now, and again, this is where we play, this is where we play Inspector Clouseau, right? We start looking for clues. We start looking for clues in these matters. How does a company perform when the stock gets good news? So let's take, for example, Netflix today, right? So here's Netflix. So Netflix gets upgraded today. And again, if you remember what happened the previous couple of days, incredible weakness in Netflix. There was cracking. It looked like some really bad damage was going to come. And then today the stock got upgraded. And then what happened in the middle of the day, if you look at the daily course of action of Netflix, right? The stock gapped up, right? Stock gapped up and went lower. Okay, now let's look at Amazon, right? Look at Amazon, okay? So in the middle of the day, Amazon got some sort of news that they were going to be introducing Amazon Prime into Mexico. Now, again, not the greatest PR in the world, right? Not the greatest PR in the world, but again, something positive, something that, can continue to make the stock go higher. The problem was when the announcement came out, the futures were green, right? The futures were green, the Dow was slightly higher. And what happened was it got rejected. It started going lower again, right? It started rallying, and then they really sold it off into the close. Okay, so you have two pieces of the puzzle, right? You have two pieces of the puzzle. The most important part, again, not that technical damage has occurred on Amazon, because you can see right here, it's still kind of, and I'm just using these as an example. You can see here how Amazon's still straddling the 20-day moving average, and so are so many other stocks. But the problem is when a market can't rally, okay, when the market is tired, eventually, and again, I don't know what it'll be today or tomorrow or the next day, but eventually the market has to go lower. And how do we know that? Okay, how do we know that? Let's look at other signs, right? Let's look at other signs. So yesterday, for example, I bought a breakout on Fastenal, right? Bought a breakout on Fastenal. And Fastenal was going through distribution through, I would say, from the middle of January, okay? And although this was a decent trade, you know, I sold my last run around 50 cents. Okay, whatever. The stock should have not turned around today and fallen back into this range that it was in for, well, several months. Look at a stock like ATVI today, right? Perfect example, right? So ATVI is going through another distribution, right? Is going through a distribution from, well, mid-February. So if you look at all this distribution, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's 3 weeks, almost 3.5 weeks of action. When the stock broke today, stock only went up about 36 cents, right? And even though this is the highest close in this whole breakout here, the fact that the Dow is only down, 29 handles, shouldn't have the stock exploded a lot higher? Again, more clues to the puzzle. And we can keep on going over and over and over again. Look at Tesla this morning, right? Look at Tesla this morning. Yesterday, I had Tesla on my watch list, right? We had Tesla on our watch list yesterday, that 252 break. Pre-market, the stock explodes, right? Explodes pre-market, goes 252, 253, almost 254, okay? Stock never recovered off that intraday candle. Again, what materialistically happened between the open, right? Between the open and the close, right? Again, selling. Whatever was happening here on the buying got really, really swallowed up very, very quickly. To sell the stock is here. Now, here, let me give you another great example, right? Another great example. So we had a couple of pivots today on Google, okay? First one I caught for about, let's just say about $1.50, okay? No big deal, right? $1.50 move. Now, I want to show you something. Again, this is where we talk about stocks take the stairs up and the elevator down, right? So here's Google, right? I want to show you from the second pivot, right? So there was a pivot in the room that I called out right here, right? This 850.5 area, okay? It took the stock, and I couldn't take the trade, by the way, because I took this trade right here, okay? I took this trade right here, this whole move here, okay? I put this move. So here's the pivot, right? Here was a sneaky pivot. I couldn't do the trade because there was no liquidity. And it took about 3 hours to go up about $1.50, okay? Maybe a little more than that, maybe about $2. So it took 3 hours to go up $2. And in the last 15 minutes, right? In the last 15 minutes, look what happened, right? In the last 15 minutes, the stock sold off nearly $3.50, okay? So very, very thin bids on the way up. And as soon as the futures turned, very, very aggressive on the way down. So we're all about getting clues, right? We're all about getting clues. But the most important clue of them all is technical analysis from the broader view. And let's talk about the broader view right now on the S&P 500 and take a look at it, okay? If you believe, again, guys, we've been saying this for years and years now, since we've been all together. We've been together now 7 years, okay? If you believe that the birth of the trade is the 10-day moving average, right, to the upside, then you have to believe it's same thing from the downside. And we talked about yesterday on the video yesterday, until there's a close under 236.70, I'm sorry, until there's a close below this 236, wow, 230.68, right? Look where it closed. There's nothing to worry about. There might be something to worry about. So we have to start paying attention, guys. If the market starts taking out lows again, we could see an initial move again, nothing crazy, but we could get an initial move here to the 23.52 area. And tomorrow I will be definitely looking for value on the downside and looking at all the high beta names. Actually, some pretty decent moves today. Google, I caught, there was several pivots on Google. Congratulations for you guys who caught in the video as well. Great job. I mean, really, really great job. Here was a pivot on the video. You can see here's a pivot on the video, this right here, okay, this right here, the first move here, and then there's the confirmation here above 28.52. Beautiful move, guys. Congratulations. Great trade there as well. ATVI for you guys who caught it. Again, not a big move. Again, not a big move, but never the sense. It's still a nice move higher. I did have a couple of flat trades today. I shorted Netflix, only went down 20 cents, came right back up flat. I bought Amazon, went up about, not a big move, went up about 50, 60 cents. Again, not a lot of juice, especially when Google was acting up. I sold the flat. So those are good sales. I mean, those are obviously good sales because the stocks came in, especially Amazon. The stock came in about $3, $4. Nice little trade in this BLIN. Yeah, I made it for about, I took it for about, about 6-7% move. I bought it at 91. Stock went to like 96. I started seeing all these people start pumping, and I was like, listen, man, I'm not, this isn't my game anymore anyway. So I started making sales, pretty good moves there as well. So the day wasn't bad, okay? The day wasn't bad. Again, another day you kind of had to grind it out, okay? Another grind it out, but the day wasn't bad. Any day, again, as I say this all the time, may your worst trading day be, again, a day that is green. If you have a green day and you have consecutive green days, and that's called consistency. It's not called luck, it's called the process. And the most important thing is, again, identify all the missiles, right? Identify all the missiles that are pointing at you. Again, not every single day needs to be 5 figures, okay? And then you don't need that. And not every single day can be 4 figures, unfortunately. Some days you're going to have to just grind it out. And again, it all adds up in the end. So again, going into tomorrow, I am 70-30 biased to downside, okay? 70-30 biased to the downside. Obviously, we'll trade both sides of the market. Again, nobody's talking about Armageddon. Nobody's talking about the destruction of stocks. All we're looking at value in all the details that we've been kind of discussing in all the areas of interest that we've been noticing for the last several days, and especially today when the market could rally. Again, look at the IBB, look at the IBB today. A pretty solid move to the downside, 1.5% to the downside. Again, obviously a lot of stocks got touched. Financials, again, continue to be relatively strong. There's no technical damage yet, but again, look at Citibank was pretty strong there as well today. But again, if these things start to crack, again, more clues. Again, we have to see the reality of the market, not the reality that we want. So it's very, very important to listen to what the market's saying. And again, you're going to notice tomorrow, tomorrow's watch list, we don't have a lot of very good value to the long side. There's some names I do like for example, Restoration Hardware continues to act very, very well. Nice looking flag there through 33. I like this GSI, not exactly sure what this GSIT is. Looks like a semiconductor name. Nice looking chart, long distribution for the last couple of weeks. I think a 750 break looks good there as well. I kind of like the Zoma. I kind of like the Zoma. These little stocks have been kind of waking up here. I want to watch like the 507, 510 area. I want to see good distribution. Obviously, if there's any liquidity, I would take part in that. It looks good as well. But this is what I want to really participate in. Look at the Qs. Look at the Qs here again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of lower highs, lower lows. Again, I think this is going to be a very, very definitive pivot here. And it's right here. And I think a pivot below this 130, 20 area could be pretty good. ISRG potentially could be a very, very good pivot here to the downside. Broke down. I wish I would have saw it yesterday. It broke down below the 10. And again, here's my theory. If you believe that the birth of the trade is a 10-day to the upside, well, here's evidence that the birth of the trade confirmed to the downside. I still think there's one more day at least to go. I think a breakdown below 729 can get to 724, so I kind of like that as well. I like Gilead. I like Gilead as well. I think they're, today it broke down again, had a nice little dead cat bounce. But again, if the bios continue to show any weakness, a confirmation below this channel here of 68.78 can result in a nice little swoosh here as well. Again, other beta names, again, just don't look healthy, man. And by the way, we called this pit right here. I didn't have a locate for it. Off this 49.70 level that I even tweeted out ahead of time. And look at the stock here as well. So things are starting to look dicey. Again, I expect once we clear out some of these demand zones, and that's the name of the game. We have to clear out the demand zones. That's when you'll start seeing these pivots go from 50, 60, 70 cents to $2, $3. It's a fact. It's not an opinion. It's a fact because, again, stocks explode when they're above the channel, and stocks really get pretty taken to the woodshed when they're below the channels. We're just waiting for those confirmations. Guys, have a great night, everybody. Again, remember, in the game between tortoise and the hare, you always want to be the tortoise. Slow and steady wins the race. Stay in business, guys. God bless. I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care, guys.